Hi, and welcome to the Industrial Boot Camp series, episode number 7, called The Running Back. My name is Kerry Rose. I'm the Industrial Channel Account Manager for the Southeast, and with me again is Marty Reagan, Industrial Channel Account Manager for the South Central, and Nick Weishahn, Industrial Sales Engineer for the Southeast, South Central, and West. In our last episode, we showcased our quarterback, or the micro data center. The quarterback runs all the applications and makes decisions for the intelligent plant. Today, we're going to talk about the versatile running back, the industrial distribution frame. The running back can play multiple roles: short ground game, running up the middle, or can play wide to open up the field and create long ground gainers. So why industrial distribution frame? First, a key concept with any of Panduit's building block products is consistency. The industrial distribution frame was designed to house 19-inch rack mount equipment and operate in areas where traditional racks or enclosures would require too many modifications to meet the environmental requirements. Looking at the top pictures in this slide, the rack is in disarray. Proper cable management has largely been ignored, and ultimately this will affect the operational efficiency and the lifespan of the switches and other electronics like UPSs. This will affect the operational maintenance costs as well. These are actual pictures taken from a plant. It's also worthy to note that the cable routing came in through the top of the enclosure. So where is all the dirt, grime, and moisture going to settle and penetrate? Lock and key or access control door handles keep the critical network components safe. Slide 3. Towards the end of our presentation, Marty will show you the details of what is actually in the industrial distribution frame and the universal distribution frame. But the basic definition or role of the IDF is that it supports the switches in the network distribution layer. It can reduce the amount of fiber cable required to reach the zones. And because it's pre-configured, we can reduce our deployment time by 25%. The potential switch port capacity and copper plus fiber capacity makes it possible to support other applications like camera or security networks. The universal distribution frame supports DIN rail mounted applications in the enclosure. This includes DIN rail mounted switches and edge devices within reach per TIA 1005 within reach of the edge. The IDF has a strong ingress or environmental rating because the IDF is typically deployed into a MICE level 2 area of the facility or plant, hence the NEMA 4, 4X, or IP66 ratings. The depth of the IDF and the wire management design details creates a greater cooling capacity over typical enclosures. Gland plates are incorporated for easy installation of air conditioning units. Lastly, they provide a level of security over open racks. Now, Nick will go over the deployment and the details of the industrial distribution frame and the universal distribution frame. Nick?
Thanks, Kerry. The IDF is unique in the sense that it can be used on level 1, 2, or 3 of the Purdue model. Ideally, it would sit on level 2 and house the layer 2 switching. So like the running back of the football team, it's the workhorse of the factory floor. Its job is to get information as close to the edge device as possible, and sometimes even reaching that edge device. The IDF meets UL 508A standards and comes in 2 different sizes, 12 and 26 RU. They are pre-configured solutions with everything you need to deploy 2 48-port switches. Like the MDC, the IDF is thermally validated and comes with AC accommodations if needed. If the AC is not needed, then the gland plate will remain in place, keeping the enclosure's IP66 and NEMA ratings. As I mentioned earlier, the IDF can sometimes be used to deploy layer 1 switching or DIN mounted switches. In that case, we have our UDF or universal distribution frame. These enclosures can be used to deploy DIN mount switches or a combination of both DIN mount switches and 19-inch rack mount switches. It also comes pre-configured with everything you need besides the actual switch itself. The UDF comes with pre-wired redundant power supplies and an optional Panduit UPS. The UDF is also designed around best practices and is thermally validated so you can get your switches up and running 50% faster than a non-pre-configured solution. Panduit also offers tiers that will fit into a 19-inch rack mount cabinet. These are designed for enclosures that have already been deployed or a day 2 installation. The tiers come in a few different options, such as with or without Panduit UPS, but they all come with redundant power supplies and the necessary wiring to connect 2 switches. They also include patch panels and wire management bars, as shown here. The final thing that we've added more recently is the ability to add access control to an IDF. This allows the end user to add Panduit's Gen 5 PDU to the IDF and get the comfort of added badge reader security. It will also allow you to get the features that come with our Gen 5 PDUs. Marty?
Thank you, Nick. As mentioned, an IDF is a freestanding or wall-mounted rack for managing interconnections from the micro data center or main distribution frame and end-user devices. Strategic deployment of the IDF in the production environment allows for reduced cable connections, cable run lengths, and a transition point to meet any MICE requirements. When deployed in an industrial facility, the IDF typically houses distribution switches of the main fiber distribution ring and can support access switches for edge devices as well as their copper infrastructure requirements. The IDF can be a transition point for single mode to multi-mode fiber media used for the connection to the industrial switches for the controls network cells that are out of reach for the copper cable. The operations team would have easy access for maintenance, diagnostics, moves, or additions. This slide is an example of a high-density deployment with 2 distribution and 2 access layer switches installed. Looking at the side view, the double-hinged IDF affords enough depth in the fixed side for the cable entry, bin radius management, and service loops. Proper support for this cabling is a must to prevent tugging on the jacks when opening the enclosure. Moving to the front view, a mix of enterprise and industrial category cable as well as fiber cabling enters the IDF and terminates on the supplied patch panels. The switches and patch panels are in proximity and small diameter short patch cords reduce space. The result is a thermally validated and known to work solution. Next slide. In this episode, we placed the industrial distribution frame within the architecture at Cabling Subsystem 2 and discussed its importance to a robust network infrastructure. We will continue with the TIA model next time as we move to Cable Subsystem 1. Next. Thank you for joining today. Join us for episode 8 as we discuss the industrial network zone enclosure and its function within the architecture. Please feel free to share these short recordings and reach out to your local territory account manager or contact one of us directly if you need further assistance. We'll also post this on our LinkedIn pages as a format to share as well.